Hello, my name is Elizabeth Davtyan, and I'm a junior biochemistry major at UMass Amherst.
And my name is Amanda Thompson. I'm a senior biology major at UMass Amherst, and we are studying if a diet rich in fruit and vegetables increases a level of anti-inflammatory cytokine TGF-beta in breast milk.
To further analyze this question, we have pulled samples from the New Moms Wellness Study, which is a randomized clinical trial that aims to assess the extent to which increased consumption of fruits and vegetables can decrease biomarkers associated with breast cancer risk in lactating women. This study is funded by the National Cancer Institute and is IRB approved and has been ongoing since 2019 and will have a sample collection period that ends in 2024, enrolling approximately 400 women. This research is very important because pregnancy has been found to increase breast cancer risk for up to 10 years after giving birth in women. So we aim to find that increasing fruit and vegetable consumption or improving one's diet in lactating mothers will reduce the likelihood of developing pregnancy-related breast cancer, which is associated with breast inflammation. To look at this inflammation specifically, we can analyze cytokine levels in the breast milk of lactating mothers and look for a direct relation between higher anti-inflammatory cytokines and an improvement in their diet. An overview for the New Moms Wellness Study: there are 400 total participants that have been randomized by race and BMI and split up into 200 control and 200 intervention participants. Both of these groups of participants have to submit samples of breast milk collected at 6 weeks, 16 weeks, and 26 weeks postpartum. And they also must fulfill multiple eligibility requirements to ensure that there are no confounding variables that may skew the results of the study.
As Elizabeth mentioned, the participants of the New Moms Wellness Study are randomized to either the control or intervention group. In the control group, participants are asked to consume a normal, healthy diet daily for a year, while in the intervention group, the participants are asked to consume 8 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables daily for a year, which they are provided weekly. Since this is an ongoing study, we are looking to analyze their breast milk samples further to see if following this diet intervention has any impact on the inflammatory profile of their breast milk. So we selected 100 participants from the New Moms Wellness Study, comprised of the first 51 women from the control group and 49 women from the intervention group, of whom have completed their sample collection period and donated their full set of 6 breast milk samples over the course of the 5 visits. We acknowledge that our selection of only women who were able to provide all of their milk samples may be a limitation in our study, as it excludes women who may have had issues with lactation and are unable to substantially produce milk. So in the future, we would ideally love to analyze the samples of women who have dropped out after the first intervention visit, if they had these issues with lactation, to see if their cytokines might also vary in relation to the intervention group that they were in. This table summarizes the sample collection period of the New Moms Wellness Study, as these are the samples that we will be analyzing for our own research. So starting at introductory visit 1, which is 5 weeks postpartum, the participants do not provide any biological samples, but rather are evaluated on their pregnancy history and breastfeeding practices. So the samples that we will be taking a look at are collected at visits 2, 3, and 4. Visit 2 being our defined baseline at 6 weeks postpartum, visit 3 being conducted 10 weeks after the intervention was introduced, and visit 4 being conducted 20 weeks after the intervention was introduced. And having collected the breast milk samples of 100 participants, both the right and left breast milk at each of these 3 time points, we are analyzing a total of 600 samples. And so we hypothesize that a diet high and rich in fruit and vegetables will increase the concentration of TGF-beta in human milk, predicting that participants in the intervention group who are eating higher levels of fruits and vegetables will have higher levels of TGF-beta in their milk samples in comparison to those in the control group. And we also predict that the concentration of TGF-beta in breast milk of women in the intervention group will progressively increase with each visit, as they will have accumulated more and more fruits and vegetables throughout that time.
So to measure these specific cytokine levels, we will be using an electrochemiluminescent assay called mesoscale discovery, our MSD assay. And this employs a UPlex multi-array technology that allows us to measure multiple analytes or cytokines using a single sample and well. So this is perfect for us because we are measuring 3 different isoforms of TGF-beta, TGF-beta 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see on the right, analyte positions 1, 3, and 10 will be measuring those three analytes specifically and will quantify these amounts for us. MSD applies a voltage, and once that voltage is applied, an oxidation reduction reaction occurs, which allows a light emittance. And this light emittance is directly proportional to the amount of analyte in the cell or the amount of cytokines in the breast milk. So we can use this to exactly quantify how much TGF-beta is present in the breast milk in the samples that have been provided for us.
So as we begin our data analysis period, we have started to evaluate any significant differences or trends found in the demographic data of our participants in the control and intervention group. And we're also looking to see how those numbers and demographics may progress through the 3 visits. So related to age, we ran a t-test to see if there was any significant difference between the average age in the control group versus the intervention group at baseline. And we did not find a significant difference. As you can see with the control group in red and the intervention group in blue, the ages were relatively similar. And so we were actually hoping that the ages would be fairly similar, seeing that we only randomized our participants into the control and intervention group by race and BMI. And we didn't want age to be a confounding variable in the analysis of our results.
Another variable that we measured in our study was average BMI of participants. As you recall, we mentioned that BMI was one of the randomization factors of the participants. So at baseline, we did not expect there to be a significant difference between the control and intervention group in regards to BMI calculations. However, we did expect to see a decrease in BMI at the 20-week intervention mark. However, we did not see this result in our calculations. But we do expect to see a significant difference between the control and intervention group participants when we begin to analyze the TGF-beta cytokine levels.
And one of the other demographics that we looked at was the IPAC score of the individuals, both in the control and intervention group at baseline 10 weeks and 20 weeks. And this score evaluates the activity level of the participants based on the average international physical activity questionnaire that they had filled out at these 3 visits. So we had expected that as the postpartum period increased, that mother's daily activity would also increase. And we were also looking to see if the IPAC value would have any correlation between the diet in the intervention group and see if that had any influence on increasing exercise habits. But after running an ANOVA test, we found that there was a progression, a significant increase in activity in both groups from baseline through visit 4. So their activity did increase from baseline to visit 3 to visit 4. Related to the control versus intervention, there was not a significant difference found between the two. So the 2 groups at any of the visits. So similar to the BMI results, not finding a significant difference between the control and intervention group at any of the time points will make it easier for us to evaluate the direct relationship between diet and TGF-beta, as we won't be factoring in these external factors and their potential influence. And so looking into the future, we have just recently finished running the MSD assays on all of our breast milk samples. So we will be analyzing that data over the course of the next 2 weeks and aim to find a correlation between diet and TGF-beta that we can hopefully share with all of you when we meet in person or over Zoom on April 28th.
We just want to say a special thank you to everybody that works on the New Moms Wellness team, including Dr. Kathleen Arcaro, Dr. Susan Sturgeon, and Dr. Linda Weisvecko, and of course all of the undergraduate students that help, as well as Eva Brown and Rachel Taylor. We could not do any of our research without the New Moms Wellness team, so thank you all. And we also want to thank the Commonwealth Honors College for awarding us a grant to conduct this research. And of course, we want to thank all of you for watching and tuning in to our explanations.
Thank you.